Hello, it's Lisa with Soulshine, and I'm continuing with the deep dive into love. If you are new to this, I started a deep dive in January following 1 Corinthians because I feel like it's the best version of love I could find. And so I've covered love is patient and love is kind, and now I'm all the way up to pride. And when I first thought about this study, I thought, oh, this will be easy because I'm not proud. And just like when you're sick and you dig into WebMD and you constantly look up different symptoms and you realize, wow, I'm sicker than I thought I was. I've got some room to grow. And so here I am, learning along with you. So I'm definitely not saying I'm the authority on love or pride, but I'm learning along with you, and hopefully you're riding the crazy bus with me. Here are some things that some important people say about pride. C.S. Lewis said, "Pride is the reason the devil became the devil. Pride is the complete anti-God state." Jonathan Edwards said, "Pride is the greatest disturber of the soul's peace. It was the first sin that ever was." Dante says, "Pride is the love of self, perverted to hatred and contempt towards one's neighbor." Benjamin Franklin said, "In reality, there is perhaps no one of our natural passions so hard to subdue as pride." Joseph Addison said, "There's no passion that steals into the heart more imperceptibly and covers itself under more disguises than pride." And Proverbs says, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace." So pride is a sneaky beast that blocks compassion. It builds a wall between each of us and ourselves and God, and we all as humans with all of our differences, when you boil all of us down to our core need, it is the need for love. And pride blocks that ability to connect on a human level, and also not only between us but also ourselves and God. So it whispers you're better than, that you deserve more. It made Satan fall and Hitler rise. On the flip side, so when I think of pride, immediately I think of that flamboyant, obnoxious person that kind of sucks all the air out of the room. But an equally corrosive version of pride, a prideful person, would be somebody who deems himself unworthy, that says yes when they definitely should say no. They people please, they create themselves as a doormat, all because they think God can't love them and no one can love them and I can't love myself. So either version are just as corrosive and create boundaries that won't let us love others and ourselves and our God to the best capacity. The one letter and the reason why it makes pride is that one letter embedded in the middle, and that's I. It says, "I am worthy of my own efforts." That's pride. "I am worthy of absolutely nothing on my own efforts." That's also pride. And they both neglect two things: the all-encompassing love of a big and powerful and all-seeing God. So pride, yes, is bad. Pride is a no-no. So it sneaks in unaware. It often disguises itself as unworthy, shameless boasting. It worries about what other people think. How to avoid it: be humble. It's easier said than done. But also not cowardly or a doormat. Know who and whose you are while recognizing the same in another. No better, no worse. Be quick to forgive. Don't speak poorly about or to others. And acknowledge the dire need for God's grace and guidance. There's no way I can do anything legacy lasting otherwise. And accept a lowly place. Don't worry about recognition or needing the head of the table position. Receive correction well. Submit to authority. Confess your misaligned efforts. This is all Bible stuff, by the way. Nothing I made up on my own. So how do I love myself and others and God without the rusty filter of pride? You'll never get the complete satisfaction of other people. So if you're doing something for praise or admiration or recognition, just realize that's a futile effort, and it's a misaligned target. It's an ever-moving target too. So the minute that you do get some praise, you want more praise and you want more praise. And so you're pulling it back into that I mode again. You're needing that praise from another person. And when you constantly cycle that in, it's always necessary. You're never satisfied. You're going to move on to the next need, the next accolade. So take out the I Act, think, and speak and pray for others instead of yourself. Don't wait for recognition or even sometimes approval. Give instead of waiting to receive. Love without expecting anything in return. Don't be heartsick when your gestures don't get acknowledged or recognized at first or even ever. You might never get that praise, that attaboy, that pat on the back. And that's not the reason why you should be doing it in the first place. If you're really showing love towards someone, you're just showing love towards someone. You're not showing love towards someone because you want to be loved yourself. It's futile. It's short-lived and short-sighted. And I'm saying that, but I am victim of the same thought process. I'll sometimes clean the house and expect him to come in and be like, oh, this is such a beautifully cleaned house. You worked so hard. No, he will inevitably find the one thing that I've forgotten to do on point every single time, and then I'm frustrated. So instead of having the satisfaction inwardly of me just doing a good job and knowing I did a good job, I'm waiting for him to say, atta girl. And so it's spoiled all the time, and because I never get the atta girl, and that's okay that I don't get the atta girl. I get the atta girls in other ways. Don't let me influence the idea that Tim is not a good guy, because he is an awesome guy. But the point is that I'm working towards someone else's praise, and that's a futile effort. It's short-lived and shallow. I can tell you with 100% accuracy that it is. So here's a quick brain dump of some ways to love without pride. Instead of saying you'll pray for someone, instantly pray, and then ask in prayer what you can do for that person. Figure out a way that their need can be satisfied by you. Can you make them a meal? Can you go and clean their house for them? Can you go pick up their kids and take them to daycare? Can you pay the rent for a month? Is there something bigger and grander that you can do? Clean the house and don't tell anyone your task list. I'm famous for Tim coming home from work and me saying, I swept the floor, I mopped the floor, I took out the dog 10 times, I cleaned out the refrigerator, and I did all the laundry. Why do I need to tell him all the task lists? Like, that's just me saying, hey, check me out, I'm so good. Pick up the trash while you're on your neighborhood walk, surprise someone with some flowers, make a meal for a sick friend, volunteer at a soup kitchen, and clothing outreach, a handyman service. There are tons of local companies that constantly are searching for free help. And I'm telling you, as somebody that's done it and needs to do it more often, you end up receiving more gratification of self by helping other people than the people that are receiving the need get as well. So it goes both ways, and I always feel more fulfilled and overflowing when I help others. And I forget that when I'm in need. I always feel like, oh, I'm so pitiful. Get to know how God sees you and tell yourself that truth over and over and over. So fill your bucket with good stuff. Pick a charity that you're drawn to and donate. Don't tell anyone that you donate to a charity. Check in on a neighbor and bring lemonade, because lemonade encourages lingering and slowing down and sipping. Offer to make dinner for a friend that you don't see often. Send a handwritten card to an older relative, because they love that stuff. I love getting written mail, and I'm not an older relative, so I know it's a good thing, so send it. Forgive. Move because it feels good, not because you want to be skinny. Check your mindset. Find out what makes your children feel loved and do that more often. And find out what makes your husband feel loved and do that more often. Whatever that is. So it's 1,000 tiny tasks played on repeat every single day. It's refilling grooves that have been deeply set in your mind and actions and mindset and reality with fresh thinking and fresh dirt, and you're building up a new way of loving and living a more authentic version. It's when you take out the I, you kick pride to the curb. So I hope and pray that you are working towards a less prideful version of love as well. Send me some messages and let me know how you're doing with that. Join me for the next version of love, the next deep dive into love. And if you missed any of the previous ones, just jump back and watch it from the beginning. No biggie piggy. I'll check you later. Have a great day. Love you much. Mwah, mwah.